to chair yoga. So this morning, make sure your chair is on a nice sturdy flat surface. We're going to need some space today to move our body. So if you can, make sure you have plenty of room around you. And then just make sure that there's nothing that you might trip on either around you. No props today, so we're going to just use our chair and our body today, okay? So go ahead and just sit on back into your chair if you're not already. So we want to root down our sit bones and find the back of the chair. Maybe even lengthen the spine along the back of the chair or just be slightly away from it, up to you. And we're just going to close our eyes down. If we can, let's bring our hands onto our heart today, just resting the hands at the heart. One palm on top of the other. Just notice and feel the beating of your heart. And start to slow your breath down. Just become a witness to the breath and the body this day and how it's showing up for you. Just notice as you begin to slow that breath down, how your feelings also change. This practice of yoga helps us not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. It's said that the journey of yoga is through the self to oneself. So we take this journey towards understanding ourselves better. You can keep your eyes closed and just release the hands on down to your lap now. Soften the shoulders. And continue to breathe here and just imagine what your breath looks like, if it had color coming in and out of the body. And just follow the breath in. Where does it go in your body before it turns around and makes its way back out? Today I'd like us to focus a bit on unity, and specifically unity within diversity. Yoga translates the word yoga to union. And I think we're all looking for a sense of peace. Sri Swami Satchidananda says, we've all had enough of fights and problems. And if you realize this, you can begin right in your own home. Love your family, your pets, and your plants. And do not treat them as something different from yourself. They all have the same essence and the same spirit. Be gentle. See the same spirit in everything, the unity in diversity. There's nothing without life in this world. So we should be gentle and nice, loving, and see our own selves within everything, so that we may treat everything properly. Bring your hands now to Anjali Mudra at your heart center, and set an intention for this practice today. Where do you need to foster more unity? Maybe just finding that your breath and body would unite together. Or that your mind would go and unite with the heart. Now slowly bringing our eyes open, letting light back in, And we're going to move forward just a little bit on our chairs. So just kind of scooting your way forward to make sure your feet can touch down to the earth. Good. Let's just start with opening up and stretching out the neck a little bit. You can just tilt your head slowly from side to side. Now notice if your shoulders, if there's tightness, your shoulders might creep up here. So we're just going to gently drop the shoulders down. Beautiful. And we're going to come to the center, pull the back of your throat back and the back of your head back. So I'm going to turn sideways. So it looks a little like just a little tuck back, like you're going to try to create a double chin. And then just float your head forward to its natural place and then pull back. So nothing changes in the shoulders. And it's just a small movement. For those of us with a little loss of curvature in the neck, this can be a nice exercise. Let's do one more. Very small movement, but very effective. Good. Now dropping chin towards the chest. And again, a pull back of the upper throat to make room for that stretch. Just breathe back into the back of the neck and into the shoulders. Excellent. Now we're going to take the head back in line with the spine. Reach your right arm up into the air. Good. Drop the shoulder into the socket and then pull up and feel that shoulder just rise a little bit and then release. So it's a very small movement again, but nice and effective to kind of see how the shoulder can extend and then release. Extend, release. Last one, extend. Release the shoulder into the socket, bend the elbow, and place the hand down to the back of the shoulder if you can, or fingertips on the shoulder if you can't quite reach the back of the shoulder blade. Turn your head away from the arm. And if it feels good, take a gaze down. If it's too much to look down, just keep looking straight off to the left. That feels nice. If you need a little bit more, you're going to place your left hand right on top of the head. And no tugging or pulling, just letting gravity, that's usually enough. Give that weight to the head, give it a little extra stretch. And we're going to release that left hand. Stretch the right arm long and then just let it float its way down. Good, let's try the other side. Reach up nice and tall with the left fingertips towards the sky. And then just find that little bit. So you see it's just a shoulder movement almost, like I'm reaching and relaxing. A couple more. And just listen to your body. If anything today is beyond the limits of your reach today, just don't do it. It's your practice. Good. Bend the elbow. And the left palm rests maybe on the back shoulder blade. Maybe we can't get that far and we just rest our fingertips on the shoulder. Turn the gaze over, away from the arm to the right. If you can, look down. And if you like, rest your right hand on the back of the head. Release right hand. Bring the head back up and in line with the spine, looking forward. Release the left arm up and then just float it down. Very nice. We're going to work our brain a little bit with this next one. So we want to roll our shoulders. But we're going to start by lifting the right shoulder and pulling it back, rolling it down. And then the left. And so we start to go in this circular motion. Right, left. And we're circling back. And just stay with a nice long breath here. Loosen up those shoulders. Now we're going to start with the left and roll forward. Right, left, right, left, right. Keep going a few more times. Nice work. And then just relax the hands down And reach your fingertips down towards the floor as the shoulders come down the back. This would be our standing mountain pose in a seated chair, Tadasana. Now with our feet rooted, inhale, sweep the arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, the arms come down in front of you. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Keep them in the sockets here. So see how I have space between my shoulders and ears? I'm not lifted like this. Try to create that space. Exhaling the hands back down. Now I'd like you to think about your lifting, giving a gift up to the sky. And exhale, receive. Palms open. Good. Let's do a couple more like that with your breath. Just follow your breath. If you start to feel like you'd like to, you can start to even gaze up as you lift that gift, that offering, and lift your heart. The little arch in the back. Good. One more time. As the hands release down here, we're going to find our knees with our palms. Very nice. And just begin to make sure that your feet feel well grounded and that you're far enough forward in your chair that you can fold. And we're just going to slowly begin to walk the hands right down the legs. And see if we might lengthen our spine, set our sit bones back into our chair. And then at the bottom, if we can touch our feet, that will be kind of the goal. But if not, that's okay. You can bring your hands anywhere on the legs. And then just kind of drop your head and let it dangle at the end of the neck here. If it feels good, slowly move the head. Very slow, and a yes or a no. Good. Now, do the same thing. Walk the hands back up and rise back up. Now we're going to put this together. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands down onto the lap. Inhale, sit as tall as you can. Exhale, walk the hands down. Keep the core engaged. Breathe here. Drop the head. Inhale and walk the hands back. Take a nice big exhale. Drop the shoulders. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to the lap. Inhale, you can grow tall by even pressing the hands into the lap. Exhale, walk it down. So this is slow and controlled. Look back under your chair. On the next inhale, begin to walk the hands back up, up, up. And release the shoulders. Now, maybe a little stronger this time if you'd like. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, float the arms out to the sides and fold. Good. Now on the inhale, float the arms back out to the side and reach up. Good. One more time. Exhale, fold. Now you can keep using those hands to walk you down. Or use your core here just to lift up. Nice. Let's bring our hands together. Anjali Mudra back to the heart. Very good. Go ahead and stretch the right arm long. Let the left hand just rest. And just pull the right arm back as far as feels comfortable. Listen to your body. And turn your palm face up. Stretch it out. And bring your palm back to face forward. Work your right arm back and all the way across the body. Let your left arm grab behind the right arm and help squeeze it towards your chest as you look over your right shoulder. Turn your gaze back forward. Take that right arm up into the air. And once again, bending the right elbow, bring the right hand behind you. Maybe the palm touches the back, and let the left arm float up. Grab onto the right elbow and just encourage the right fingertips down your back a little further. Notice where we might be holding any tension and avoid any pinching or any pain here. Just find your range of motion as we open up the upper body. Release the left hand, float the right arm up into the sky and all the way down. And just notice how the right shoulder and right arm might feel different from the left. Sweep that left arm out and back as far as you can. Now, I want to avoid lifting the left shoulder, so it's just staying right in its socket. I'm just kind of opening up all through the pectoral here. And my left shoulder blade's coming right onto my back. I may turn that palm over if that feels good so that it's face up. A little extra rotation, a little extra extension. Finding our breath. Palm back forward. Bring the arm all the way with a little resistance so you feel a little burn in the arm as you come all the way across the body. And then once we can't come any further, we'll assist with the right arm, helping out to squeeze that left arm in. And just looking over to the left, over the shoulder. See if you can relax your shoulder a bit more. Very lovely. Go ahead and release. Bring the arm back up. Left elbow bends. Bringing the hand onto the back if we can. Right arm's going to reach up and over. Find the elbow and squeeze those fingertips down the back. Nice job. And gently release the right arm and float the left arm all the way back down. Very good. We're going to bring our hands now onto the right knee. So you can bring both hands onto your right knee. And just begin to take a nice big inhale and then exhale, lift the right leg and set it back down on the inhale. Now it doesn't matter how far you come. Just feel that the hips getting a little warmed up here and our core is engaging. If you need more help getting that leg to lift, you can always just take a few fingertips under the thigh, but don't use arm strength too much here, okay? You can see there's maybe a little rock in the body, but we want to stay as upright as possible. Let's take a couple more. We're just kind of marching that right leg out. Whew, you should feel a little warmth build, maybe in your quad, maybe in your hip and glute, maybe in your abdominals. Last one. Good. Scoot those hands over to the other side. Give this right leg a sweet break. Make sure your right sit bone is rooted down as well as the left, and just begin to march the left leg. Now, so one thing I can do if this becomes too easy over time is provide a little resistance by pressing my hands into the thigh. But again, the variation, if it's too much, would be to just use a finger or two underneath the thigh to assist, or maybe just those hands barely touching. You could even lift like this, where you're trying to just float the hands there and bring the knee up to touch. So there's lots of ways you can make this really useful to yourself and what feels good to you. We're going to take just a couple more. Nice job. And just release. Good. Well, don't worry. We're going to stretch that out in a little bit. Now I'm going to spread the legs a little bit wider for our seated cat-cow. If you'll remember, we've talked about how we want to move our spine, not just our chest. So the chest will move. We're undulating up and down the spine here through this beautiful wave of movement. So we want to inhale and gently pull the belly forward, draw up through the heart, shoulders down, and you can even take a gaze up, stretch the front of the neck. And then on the exhale, we're going to begin at the base of the spine round. Pull that navel in, come all the way up, draw the shoulder blades apart, and look down, chin towards the chest. All right, so find your movement. Inhale, exhale. Now you want to keep those hands from pressing too hard onto the knees, so I pull mine back onto my thighs a bit. And then you can actually use that press to get you deeper into these cat-cows. If you're comfortable enough in your chair, you're feeling really grounded with your feet and your sit bones, I'd offer the option to close your eyes down here just so that you can really witness the body and get in tune, uniting that breath with the body. Find unity here. as we're thinking about this unity, we might even think about a nice snow and how each snowflake in that snow is different, yet each is significant. Keep moving with your breath, and every one of those snowflakes is delivering water to the earth. Good, 2 more. And just like the snowflakes, each human is different and yet significant. Good. Let's go ahead and hold with a rounded back. So your chin's towards your chest, your navel's tucked in, and your shoulders are rolling apart. Just feel that open space, like you've got a little turtle shell on your back. Good. And then inhale, let's go the other way. So we're going to sweep a long spine, chest forward, shoulders down and gazing up. And hold and breathe. When we see our differences, just like the differences in the snowflakes, but yet we recognize our unity. We've come with peace and tolerance. Come back, shoulders over the hips. Nice job. And we begin to just find this space of love in our hearts for every living being. Bring your toes back in, heel, toe, heel, toe. Now, we're going to stretch the right leg out nice and long, and I'm going to give you options. So you can have your heel touch down today, but if you're feeling a little bit more strong, you want to bring a challenge, let's lift that foot up and feel the engagement of the muscles here. And we just want to point and flex the foot. So that if we have our foot down, it's just a nice little point and flex. If we have our foot up, a little bit stronger point and flex. Listen in. See if you get any snap, crackles, pops here. Now round the ankle one direction 4 times. Other direction 4 times. Oh, there's one. Good. Slide it back in. Find that rooted seat. And again, decide if you want to put the foot down. You maybe want to do half and half. Now, if we keep that leg lifted, try not to lean back in order to do it. Sit up nice and tall. Keep your shoulders over your hips, just pointing and flexing, opening up the ankle. There's lots of little bones in the feet and ankles. We're just going to work them out here a little bit. Rounding each direction 4 times. Oh, there's a big one. I don't know if you can hear that. And then we'll pull it back in. Excellent work. So I'd like us to take a nice twist today. You can bring your right hand onto your hip or onto the chair. Good. The left hand's going to come across to the right thigh. And we begin from the low belly space, making a twist to the right. If you're holding your chair, you might be able to go a little deeper, but you do want to listen to your body, and only healthy spines take big twists. And if we have maybe a little bit of issue within our spine, say osteoporosis or something, we're going to take a smaller twist. Very good. Now we're going to unwind, but keep the hands where they're at. Just bring yourself back to centered up. Keeping the right hand gripping either on the chair, or if you feel sturdy and steady, hand to the hip, and send the left arm up into the air. We're going to lean now over to the right. So if I start to feel a little insecure in my chair, I'm going to hold the chair. It's a little bit safer option, but if I feel like I can do this and I want a little bit more oblique work and balance here, I'm going to bring the hand onto the hip. So your choice. And then slowly bring it back up and drop that left hand down to the chair or to the left hip, and then the right hand's going to come across the body, and we're just going to spiral our way to a twist to the left. Now if my neck is happy, I'm looking back over that left shoulder. If it says no today, no problem, so we're just going to look over to the left. And then we're going to gently unwind, keeping our hands in their place, coming back to the center. Sweep the right arm up. Again, left hand can be to hip or to the chair. You reach to the left. So I might even feel I could get a bigger stretch if I'm looking for stretch here with my hand on the chair. But if I'm looking for a bit more strength today, I might choose the hand on the hip. Fabulous. And then we bring it all the way back up, nice and gentle. Good. And bring our hands onto the thighs. And just begin to rock forward a little bit as though you're going to lift your sit bones up out of the chair. And just find that little rock and lift. And now I want you to feel your pelvic floor engaged. Really important that we remember to use this in our practice, but also in our lives. That's the muscles that would stop the flow of urine. So you want to lift those now as you start to lift up a little bit more. And now making sure that our footing is in the right place, we're going to stand up. So let's take a couple of these, maybe lift up out of your chair a few inches and then down. And the trick here is not to collapse into the chair, but to go down really controlled, keeping your thighs back, and this one will stand all the way up. And if that was difficult for you, then you're going to want to practice that at home daily, just that strengthening of the muscles and the pelvic floor to find that sweeping lift that you're looking for to get you out of those chairs. All right, so from here, we're going to come, I'm going to turn my chair around. We're going to come so that we can stand next to our chair and place our hand on the chair. Now you want a good distance between you and the chair so that you're not going to kick the chair, and also make sure, just look behind and in front of you what's around you, because we're going to swing our leg a little bit here and just warm this hip up. And so if there's anything you're going to kick, that's no good. All right, so we're going to stand more on the outer leg to start, hand on the hip, and then pick up that inner leg and just begin to gently move it. Now, what I don't do this, we don't want it just willy-nilly. I want it nice and controlled movement. So I start to feel my core engage and like I'm pushing my foot out and I'm reaching my leg back and I'm lengthening my leg forward and I'm lengthening it back. And just notice how still your upper body can stay. There's a slight little bit of movement, but we're not trying to fold over. We want to stay lifted, okay? So just a couple more. You're doing great, and you can take a break anytime. Beautiful. Now we're going to hug that leg back and hold. You can take your toes to the floor. That's perfectly fine. Just make sure your hips stay forward, or you can have it slightly lifted. Now flex your foot a little bit and place the toes down if you haven't already. And then just kind of roll back onto the ball of the foot a little bit. Press down through the heel. It doesn't have to touch all the way to the floor. Just feel that nice stretch. And just kind of rolling back and forth over the ball of the foot. All right, fabulous work. We're going to step that foot all the way back, forward, standing. And then we're going to stand on the leg we just swung, the one closest to the chair. Again, making sure you can grip firmly onto your chair. Begin to stand on that foot and bring the outer leg up into maybe 90 degrees, maybe not, anywhere that it's lifted. And we're going to take some in and out, kind of rainbow out, rainbow in. For your adductors and abductors. And again, look at how we can stay nice and still as much as possible in the upper body. I'm not swinging around here, and I'm not swinging the leg either. It's very controlled. A couple more. All right, nice job. Now on this one, hold it out. Touch your toes to the floor and place your heel right above your ankle. And just see if you can keep your hip bones more squared, but the outer knee tracking out. And then if you're feeling steady, you can always begin to slide the foot up to where the heel drops right beneath the knee and we're coming into a balancing tree. Again, this outer hand can stay on the hip, or you can feel free to lift it, and this hand on the chair can stay on the chair, or begin to gently move away from the chair to any degree that you feel comfortable going. Now squeeze your hips in and get nice and tall, but keep your shoulders relaxed, feel your glutes engage, and that pelvic floor lift again, sucking us up a little bit higher. Good, keep breathing. Don't worry if you need to grab the chair, if you need to come out of the pose for a moment. And we're gently releasing, so we grab the chair again, and then encourage the outer leg back forward. Nice job, very good. And then just come to face the back of the chair here. And just take your heels off the floor a couple of times, lifting up onto the toes, and then lowering. You can come to any degree. So again, a small lift, or lifting all the way up. And we're going to take a couple more. Don't lock the knees, stay soft. Last one. You might have a little burn in those calves. Beautiful. And then I want to turn to the other side, so gently moving the chair so that my other side is to the chair from where we were last time. And again, just look down. I want you to make very sure, because when we do those swings, if you're too close to the chair, if your foot happens to get out to the side a little bit, you might catch your toes. So you want to give yourself some space here. Hand onto the hip. And then we stand on this outer leg and just find a little controlled swing of the leg. Again, so what we want to avoid, I'll show you what not to do. This is not good. We don't want that. We want a nice controlled swinging. So that you articulate the movement, you feel the muscles engaging, and you're not moving from momentum, you're moving from strength. And you say, well, Jenny, what if I can't lift as high as you? Well, that's fine. Maybe it looks like this. Whatever your range of motion is, you're getting stronger every day. Maybe your breath is coming up a little bit, the heart rate. See if you can control it. We're going to do a couple more. And then we're going to hold it back. And you can hold the toes up or drop them down. Just for a breath or two, we hold. Now we'll all drop all 5 toes down. Be careful, that pinky toe tries to be tricky and get out of playing in yoga. And then we're going to roll back and roll. So it's just like a nice little stretch through my arch, down through my leg. Maybe the heel will touch the floor. Maybe it won't. That's no worries either way. We are keeping the hips squared together, so I'm not moving my hips around. Just rolling over the ball of the foot. Last one. And then we step it in. Good. Switching which foot has the weight, this becomes our standing leg closest to the chair. And now we take the outside leg up and start to rainbow. And pull back in. Are your legs getting warm? They should be by now. Good. So we're working lots of areas of the legs. We're also stretching and strengthening and finding stability. So this is great work. But if standing doesn't work for you, you could be moving similar ways in your chair, just moving the leg in and out and stretching it forward and back. All right, let's take one more, and then we'll land here in tree pose, Vrksasana, or slide it up. Just make sure there's no touching on the knee, okay? And that your outer leg is floating open, not closing off, okay? From here, we begin to lift maybe that outer arm if that feels good. It's up to you. Squeeze everything in, squeeze the pelvic floor, and then we can lift the arm off the chair. Maybe just a little hand right here hovering so that, ooh, I can grab it if I need to. Now, where are your shoulders? Where is your breath? Where's your mind and your thoughts? Notice how one side can be a little wobblier than the other. That's okay. And then a slow lower, hand to the chair, outer hand down, work that leg back around, stand up nice and tall and turn back to face the long edge of the chair. We're going to take a nice stretch back. I'm going to move my chair slightly forward, place the palms of the hands on the chair and start to walk my feet back and begin to press the palms into the chair as you lower your heart down towards the earth. And you're just kind of gazing down towards the floor. All the toes should be pointed forward, the knees should be soft, and your hips should feel high. And then just breathe here, drawing your shoulder blades apart, pressing into the top of the chair. Couple more. Feel those hamstrings. Get a beautiful stretch. Think about sending your sit bones up. Very good. And then press into the chair. Lift your heart. And just walk your way forward towards your chair. Turn your chair back towards the front. And walk around and come back to sit down into your chair. And remember, when you sit down, look down first. Make sure you know where your toes are. Make sure you know where the chair is. And nice and controlled sit down. Good. Now we're going to bring our hands onto the chair. This one's a bit interesting. And we want to press up. Okay, so there can be a little bend in the elbows. And we press up. And it's almost like we're trying to lift our glutes off the chair. Now if our arms are short, or maybe even we're just working on that core strength, our bums may never lift the chair, maybe off the chair, maybe they will. A little press into the chair. Just like when we were standing, but now we're using our arms as well. And if you had a chair with arms, you could do it there too. Last couple, so this is just nice. Again, pelvic floor strength, as well as you might feel a little bit more in the upper core and a little bit in the arms. Last one. Good, nice job. Now, go ahead and open the legs a little bit wider and bring the palms back to the thighs. We want room to bring our heart down. This time, before we were doing cat-cow, undulating through the spine. This time, it's a hinging motion. And our hands are resting on the thighs. The elbows are going to sweep all the way straight back as you hinge forward. And then you're going to press the hands in and push your way back up. So a seated tricep push-up. Good. So where we want to feel this, although the core is working, is in the back of the arms. So work with that. See if you can find a little burn in the back of the arms. And if your elbows are coming out to the sides, squeeze them back in, like they're facing the back. We're going to take about 2 to 3 more here, just depending on what pace you're moving. Squeeze into those arms. Maybe we can make them a little burny so that they're sore tomorrow even. Nice job. Last one. Good. And just kind of shake it out. And then we'll cross the right arm across the body again for a little stretch. So this little kind of how some of us get a little flabby on the backs of the arms is going to help with that. Keep that strength in the muscles. Stretch the left tricep. Don't pull on the elbow. Pull on the arm. Beautiful work. Now let's get into those hips just a little bit. So we're going to take 3 each side today of these figure 4 stretches. So that means this first one, you don't have to try to go to your depth or to your edge. So we're going to draw the right knee in and around, placing the right ankle onto the left thigh. So this first one, we might not even hinge. We're going to take 3 each side, so that gives you some frame of reference for what you want to do with your body today. Or you might take just a small hinge and kind of see how you're feeling this morning or today if you're watching this later in the day. All right, nice work. And then lift, draw the knee out and down, left knee out and up. Root the right foot down. And again, just play a little bit here, very small. This is like our warm up to this hip stretch. Nice job. Good. Shoulders are over the hips as we gently release out and down. Right leg out and over. Now we're coming, we're 2/3 of the way now. So now we're going to come in just a little deeper. Don't go all the way to your edge yet, unless you want to. What's the edge? It's the place where you're really feeling that something is happening, a change could be occurring, but you're not so uncomfortable that you're losing your breath or you can't smile. Good, let's change it out. Lift up, out and down, left knee out and up and over. Good, hinge forward and breathe. This one should feel easier maybe than the last one. Now, nice thing here too, see how I did that? It felt natural to grab back onto my chair. You could do that too. All right. Lift up, and we're on our last one now. Right leg. This one should be the nicest one yet. Do you see how just doing a repetitive stretch can bring us a little bit deeper and move our edge a little bit more? So now you release to maybe the edge if you haven't come that far yet. And again, that back arm, it's nice to reach back. I'm lengthening the arm as well, but I have the support of the chair. You could do both even. Always feeling free to rest the head and neck. If you're laying all the way over your right leg, go ahead and let some of your body weight just assist the stretch. Just kind of lay it into the leg. All right, let's come back up and we're going to do the other side one last time. Great job. Those hips should feel awesome when we leave here. Good. Rooting down through the left foot and finding our edge this side. Don't worry if it's different one side to the other or one feels tighter than the other. This happens. Find those diversity and differences even within our own body, but our body is all united. So many examples of the beauty of diversity and unity. Last breath. That's it. Lift up. Oh, good job. Maybe stretch both legs forward. Give those knees a little love, a little shake out. I'm going to give you the option to take your rest pose in the chair or on a mat, on a bed, on a couch, wherever you're at today. So I'm just going to give you a second to find your way towards our Shavasana pose. I think today I'll move on down to my mat. So let's go ahead, take our time. If we're coming down onto the mat, use the chair to assist you getting down. Everything should be gentle and loving to the body. And as we know, when we come into our Shavasana pose, this is where we let the body and the mind really rest and relax. So get all your wiggles out, take up some space. If you're in your chair, just sit back like you're in a lazy boy recliner, super relaxed. Just make sure you don't fall out of your chair. Anywhere else that you're going, I want you to find your space of comfort. Maybe even sigh through the mouth as you get there, just to let yourself sink into it. And take a moment to witness the body here. How does it feel different from when you started this practice today? Maybe some places feel a little tired. Maybe other places feel energized. Maybe some places feel really relaxed. With our eyes closed and our breath as easy as possible, as natural as possible. Begin to recognize that our divine wisdom and light resides just above our heads, connecting us to the universal force and to all beings. And we understand that we're not alone and that we can find peace in this oneness. And begin to open up to this higher knowledge and imagine a nice purple light like a crown emanating from the top of your head and rising upward. See if you can just reach for this connection to the divine, whatever that means for you. And as you're here in your Shavasana, Ask for help wherever you need it, especially with regards to seeing unity even within our differences and our diversity. And begin to accept this peace. And take a few moments here. And gently draw your hands onto your heart like we did in the very beginning, palm over palm, just resting at the heart center, the center where our love resides. Just imagine now, as you can feel your heart beating, maybe sending out your love over all the earth, to all the corners of the earth, to all beings. Imagine the web that connects us each, that weaves us all together, which is the light within each of us. And then we'll wiggle our fingers and toes, drawing the hands away from the heart. And as you feel ready, you can take bigger movements, like moving your knees to your chest if you're on the floor maybe, and just rocking from side to side, or if you're in the chair, maybe you want to come up to a more comfortable tall seat. Eventually, we're all making our way back to a seated posture. So from your comfort of wherever you're at in your home, drawing back to seated on mat or chair or couch or bed. And for one last time, we'll meet in Anjali Mudra during this practice. Hands to your heart. Good. Feel free to close the eyes down here. Remember your intention. I honor the place in you that is the same in me. I honor the place in you where the whole universe resides. I honor the place in you of love, of light, of peace, and of truth. I honor the place in you that is the same in me. There is but one. Namaste. Well, thank you so much for practicing with me today. Go in love and in peace and in unity, and I will see you next time.